the Prison City Podcast. When the bars go up, you're officially locked in.
Welcome to the Prison City Podcast. I am here, your unofficial host, Patrick Cutler, and we have an amazing show tonight. Very special guest here from the UK here in Britain. Has a lot to say about a lot of things tonight. First, I want to start out by going around the panel and having everybody introduce yourself, starting with Montgomery Mahogany there.
All right, great to be back. And folks, it took us 7 episodes, but we have launched globally now. We are probably, I would say, the biggest global podcast about people that come from a prison city. I think it's hard to argue.
And with that point, I'm going to go to Kelly here.
Yeah, excited to be here. Can't believe that we've done this many of these podcasts so far. I think we should keep the subject matter a little bit lighter tonight. So I thought we could talk about fetal alcohol syndrome.
And Jay Marsh.
How's everyone doing? Excited we've made it to episode 7, I think, and no one has quit yet. So almost 2 months. Good job, guys.
Yep, absolutely. So a little bit on tonight's special guest. He had me on his podcast. I think it was last week or the week before, and he it was just great. Whenever you have a chance to be on someone else's podcast, I think it's a great honor to get out there and get on a podcast. I've been going on a lot of different podcasts lately, just trying to promote the film Redgate and get the name out there. So I just figured I'd return the favor. And he's a very cool guy here. Does a lot of audio recordings and stuff and different writing and stuff like of that nature. He has his own podcast show, obviously. His name is Mark Antony Raines from the Ghostman Radio Station, and I'll let you introduce yourself here however you like.
Just unmute myself. Yes, it's me, Mark Antony Raines from Holsbury, and gone past midnight, nearly half awake, but I'm still here.
Yes, and you were out of do you want to just explain for our audience here tonight what part of the UK, Britain, I don't know what you officially refer to it as, but what part you were out of, where you live at?
Well. In geography, I learned that Britain is an old man carrying a pig to market. Near the pig trotters, and I know that doesn't help you one bit, but that's any bit of geography I ever learned at school. The southwest of England, which is a long way from London, so nowhere near London. And basically, I could cross the border to Cornwall about 6 or 7 times a day if I wanted to, because it's literally 6 miles down the road.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, it's interesting. Our previous conversation, we were talking about differences between America and where you're at overseas from us, about politics and everything else. So what do you think about the fetal alcohol syndrome problem in America?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Well, it's obviously that why it's there, because at birth you're probably eating about 6 burgers, 5 chips, and other things. And really, I think that the problem extended once you put Trump into office. But I don't want to go there. I mean, I don't want to.
Well, and while we're talking politics, I would be remiss if I didn't, send my condolences about Prince Philip. I know you seem like you guys were really close.
Well, yeah, we sort of knew him from afar, like very far. But it's we're in a week of mourning in Britain. You got the funeral on Saturday, which is like we've got endless coverage. It's like 24/7 Prince Philip.
So yeah, I was reading about that. I heard on one of my credible resources here is that he actually got shot up with the COVID-19 vaccination, and that was 100% his cause of death. Is that true?
Mark shaking his head.
No, I don't think so. I think he had cancer because he went 4 weeks into hospital, And I think they probably said to him, "Look, mate, you're gonna die." And he
Yeah.
went, "Yeah, I don't want to be here, so I'll go back to the palace, where it's nice and comfortable, with all my gold trimmings, silk bed, food whenever I wanted, servants. Why would I want to be in a hospital bed? I might as well be here."
So, kind of one of the questions I kind of have is like, you talk about, I've heard stuff just online or whatever about how the king and queen, princess, all that sort of setup you guys have is almost like going out of style, like they don't have as much power or influence. Is that true at all, or what is your take on that?
They never really had any influence. They're like in the background, but it's a tradition that we've kept for like hundreds of years, basically, so Americans can come along, pay us huge amounts of money to go and visit them, and we get the benefit. So I think it's basically our revenge on you for having that Boston Tea Party and kicking us out. I think that's
Would you say they're basically then just a more well thought of like Kardashian family over there, just like kind of famous?
yeah,
and rich?
but less bottoms.
I gotta say, Mark, I did
You
not
said
expect
it's,
that to come out of your mouth.
You said it's midnight over
It's got midnight. Yeah, it's like yes, I'm awake. I am awake. Yes.
Did you ever?
Well,
did you
we'll
ever
only take up,
oh, right.
2 or 3 hours of your time. Sorry, I got that delay going on. I'm 10 feet away from J Marsh, and somehow I got a fucking 3-minute delay.
You got a 3-minute delay. I'm 22,000 miles away, and I've got a better reception.
Yeah, I can stick my head out the window and see half these guys.
It'd be better to shout, wouldn't it? I gotta be outside.
Yeah.
So did you ever envision yourself here a little past midnight talking with 4 guys from a small town in Montana, just out of curiosity?
Well, it's a small town in Holsby, so perhaps it's a coincidence, but I don't mind. It's just the way of the universe and how it happens.
It sure is. So what can you tell us? Obviously, you do some stuff with horror films. Give us a little more background on Ghostman Radio Station for those who are not familiar. We have a huge following, obviously.
Well, obviously, to your seven listeners, I'll just tell them exactly what I do. On my podcast, I will do readings. I'll do horror. I do interviews. I interviewed some young chap called Patrick. He turned up. He was all right. Yeah. He talked a little bit. Talked a bit of American. I thought, yeah, I understand everything you're saying, mate. But it's like we got the same language, but we haven't. Like you say, Sif. Like if I said, certain words, you'll be going, what? If we got a thing over here called a pudding called spotted dick.
Yeah, that's just gonorrhea over here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, yeah, that's I just covered lots of bits and pieces, and I'm on a program called Red Circle Podcast. I share all my podcasts on my blog, which is Ghostman, and then hopefully somebody listens in and goes, yeah, I like listening to this bloke talking to himself, nice times. And then when I'm not doing my show, I write books. I'm on Amazon, which is something.
Mm-hmm.
Took me a little while to get on there, but I'm on there. I've got a book, an autobiography called Diary of an Ex-Essex Weirdo.
That's an interesting. So you want to tell us a little bit about that Diary of an Essex Weirdo? It's
basically my autobiography. I mean, I know I don't look like I'm a young man, but I'm not. I'm nearly 60. But and I've got a thing called small vessel disease of the brain, which basically means I have cognitive skills are not very good, and my memory is not great. I'm having memory problems at the moment. So I thought, well, why not write down a little bit about myself in a book? And it's just basically about my life. my near-death experience, my suicide attempts, how I met my wife, how she was married at the time. He was a bit of a-hole. He's dead now, so that's not a problem. I didn't kill him, but he's dead.
Hey, Mark, you don't gotta watch your language on here. You can say fuckface out loud.
Oh, damn it. Basically, that's what it is. But the other books are basically horror comedies.
Yeah, I just want to pull a piece of what you just said there about near-death experience, and because I think that's something that I've always been interested in. Are you talking like you nearly died and you survived, or are you talking like you had a near-death experience where you almost went into the afterlife a little bit? You know what I'm talking about a little bit?
Well, yeah, basically what it was, I had it was some time ago. I was feeling really dizzy and off and getting confused. My wife rang the doctor. He thought I was having just normal dizziness. Then she got a bit insistent. Well, she basically told him to get his horse there or she'll rip his arm off. And he turned up, smelled my breath. And then I was taken to, they rang the ambulance. The ambulance turned up. They first of all took a blood sugar reading, didn't get any. But then I had a blood sugar count of 124. I was taken to the nearby hospital where I was taken to ED. And from ED, I was taken straight to ICU where I was put in an induced coma for 3 weeks. And during that time I was in my coma, my wife was told that I was going to die by the doctor. She told him, don't be so stupid. And she stayed by my side. And whilst I was in my coma, I heard a woman's voice I've never heard before, telling me to wake up. I had the most overwhelming feeling I ever had to wake up. Now, some people might say that was the drugs. Some people might say that was my brain causing an illusion. I seriously think it's God, an angel. And why I call myself command, because a lot of people ask me, is because once I was in my coma, I was not in this world or the next world. So therefore, I was a ghost.
And thus the title of the Ghostman radio station.
Yeah, that's why it came about. The Ghostman signal come out about.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, because none of us have been in a coma before. But anyway, like when you're in a coma, like for 3 weeks, like what is time like from when you went to the coma? Like what's the last thing you remember to when you woke up? And what did it feel like the time shift in the time that you were in a coma? Like what was that like?
Well, when people say that you hear people talk rubbish, and they say you know what's going on, rubbish. I didn't know nothing. You could tell me the man landed on Mars and we were attacked by giant spiders during those 3 weeks, and I would believe you because I don't know nothing about those 3 weeks.
Yeah.
No perception of time. Time didn't exist.
Was it a snap of the finger then? I mean, you say time doesn't exist. Did it, was it a snap and you were awake, like you got knocked out or something, or
were you in a dream like the entire time?
Yeah.
I think I was probably in a state of like suspended animation, more or less, because I don't remember any dreams bar the but the only thing I remember is a voice. When I woke up, obviously I was like, and then obviously you got tubes hanging out you and whatever, and then you suddenly for like 5 seconds you're thinking, where the fuck am I? And then
watch the language, please.
Yeah. Well, I thought, Americans you don't understand that anyway. Where was I on the track? And I woke up and suddenly there's these bells and whistles and all. If doctors and nurses are thinking, "Oh, I'm in hospital. What am I doing here?" So that's all I remember. That I had no perception of time. That's my personal experience. I talked to other people who had been in a coma and they've had similar experiences, and like me, they feel like when they was coming out of the coma or before they come back to reality, whatever reality is, they feel like they've touched something up, like the heaven or hell, whatever. Because I believe that there's no our version of heaven and hell is the one we like. It's not like the Bible one, you will be damned, you will be set on fire and eternally. That's nothing like that. I think we've got our own perception of hell, our own perception of heaven, and when we go, that's the one. It's like the final, like Star Trek. They always say about the final frontier.
Yeah.
That is our final frontier.
So did you, when you had your near-death experience, it was just the voice? It wasn't like the classic, you see a light,
No,
you
it wasn't
walk
the
towards the
classic.
light?
Yeah, the light. No, I didn't have it. So I mean, I don't know. People say, "Well, it must be a fake one who didn't have the light bit." But everybody's coma is personal to them. I mean, I don't know what they did because I only got by the one I had.
So do you remember the first thing you asked when you woke up? Like, oh, what day is it? Or why do I have such a big boner?
I think I asked. I don't remember what I asked because it's like you're heavy on drugs. I mean, I was that bad when I thought, and then this is it. One day, I was looking out the window just because I wanted to break the view, and I thought I saw a gorilla in the bushes.
Oh God.
And this gorilla was completely real for a couple of seconds. Like when you have a full-blown hallucination. I was looking at it going, there's a gorilla over there. Everyone went, where? I said, look. And of course it was the shape of the bush looked like a gorilla. Obviously it wasn't a gorilla because like gorillas don't run around in Devon like going, hi Mark, how you doing?
Actually, that's a funnier version of England if there's just random gorillas walking around the street.
There's goats. Does that count?
Yeah, why not? Goats.
There's some randy goats going around, looking for love.
Mark, did you have a problem with getting back on your feet and stuff after 3 weeks? We had a friend, Pat Kenny, just he was in a coma for 3 weeks, just like you. And he came out of it and he said it was a snap in time. He doesn't remember any of it. He was just out. And then all of a sudden he's like, what the hell happened? And he had to go through a lot of therapy. He just had surgery like on his knee or on his hip or something because he was bedridden for that long. So do you have anything like that?
Well, basically, no. I had to learn how to walk again myself. It's like being a baby again. You're surprising how much wastage you get in your legs after just being 3 weeks in bed. It's shocking.
Wow.
You cannot walk properly for a little while. I had to basically force myself to walk, because I didn't want to end up not like muscle wastage because I've got other problems as well. I've got I had a neck injury some time ago, which caused me to get dizzy spells. I was walking along, a car come along. I clipped my arm on the wing mirror as it was driving. Literally, bang. Luckily, they weren't going very fast, but you could feel the judder. I thought I was all right, but I went into the supermarket and all the lights were flashing and all that, and I felt very uneasy, very dizzy, very unsteady in my legs. And it took, went to the doctor, blah, 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 met the neurosurgeon, and he said, oh, you've got, your neck's slightly moved out a bit, not much, just a fraction, but that causes I have to use a crutch to walk just to get balance because my balance isn't great.
Wow.
That's interesting. So just a segue here a little bit as we circle back on the wagons here.
And that's good because actually before you segue, I do want to circle back to one thing. You had mentioned your wife's ex-husband. So can you tell us just how you did kill him then?
Well, I can't tell you that because it's a national secret.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
we're like Britain for secrets. You'll have to wait 50 years. Is that okay? I'll
Sure.
put it I'll put it in the office under Patrick and friends must find out the truth
That's
if they're
great.
around. The password is. Please sign after the red letter. If you don't sign upon opening, this will self-destruct in 20 seconds. Goodbye, Mark.
So, as you know, this is the Prison City podcast. The reason that is named that way is because we all grew up in a small Montana town that had a prison, so we know so much about prisons and stuff. A lot of us may have had people that actually worked in that prison that we're related to. I don't know, but anyways, we kind of got into a discussion last week. You might call it an argument. No, I'm just kidding. But we had a discussion about guns in America and like guns in the UK and things. So shifting from that, like for me, out of curiosity, I have no idea because I've never been there or seen anything on it. What are the prisons in the UK, would you say, compared to like America?
Right, let's see. Less big, not quite old. Most of the prisons here are quite old. The nearest prison to us here is Dartmoor, which is like in the middle of nowhere. So even if they did escape, all they got is more moors, and if they're lucky, more moors. So if it doesn't rain, get cold, or you're nearly dead before they get you, they're not worried if you escape. But yeah, most of our prisons are quite old. But most of the get the usual tellies, dinner, 3 meals a day, gym, exercise, the courses. It sounds like a good holiday, doesn't it? Just the bad part is that you have to get in prison to get there. I understand the American prison system is like full to the brim. I'm like, you're one of the most countries that got the most prisoners in the whole entire world.
Mhm.
So basically, you got, I think it's three counts and you're out. Did you get that from baseball? Did you get that from baseball? I wondered if you go to baseball, but before the judge does the cut sentence, you throw like 3 baseball balls at the bloke and he's got a bat. You know, 1 strike. If I get 1 strike, I'll be all right. Poof. 2nd strike. Oh no! And then in the 3rd strike, oh shit! I've got to go to prison.
So yeah, I think
basically that. Yeah.
Yeah. What I was gonna say really quick is like a problem and we're gonna go kind of shift in here to the prison industrial complex that America's kind of had. Is like a lot of it seems like it's super organized. I don't think it's as organized as people think. Like the war on drugs, things of that interior. I was just watching a documentary on White Boy Rick in Michigan, Detroit. Really interesting case. In Michigan, this is totally Michigan's deal. They did a thing where if you got caught with a certain amount of drugs as a non-violent offender, you could be sentenced to life in prison. So it's very interesting. That's one of the things I want to say. But like, there is almost like this money-making private prisons opening up in things and just trying to send as many people to prison as possible. What do you think about that, Montgomery?
So I mean, it's pretty easy, to Mark's point. It's probably harder to go to prison in England than it is to go to here, to prison here. It's a lot easier to go to prison here. And we're certainly full and underfunded for the state prisons. The private prisons are, potentially a problem, and they continue to grow and they continue to pop up in places all over the country. So yes, they get more government funding the more people they have, right? And then if it's privately funded, it's like they get more money. It's not ideal. Whereas the state prison system, it's not like they get more money for filling more beds, because it's that they don't really want to fill more beds. If they could, it would be the opposite. So it's kind of just like the American legal system is. I feel pretty comfortable saying it's fairly broken. It's not ideal. I mean, we put bad people behind bars for sure, but there's like, once they're in there, they tend to become institutionalized, which just means when they're in there, that's all they get used to. So the idea of do the crime, pay the time, hopefully you learn from it. But really, kind of to Mark's other point, is some of them just get used to it. They get used to having their 3 meals. They get used to having a bed. They don't really learn enough in there, or they don't try and learn while they're in there. So then they end up going back to prison. So that there's just a whole shitty, broken system. I think the war on drugs was obviously a huge part of it. And, you know, the criminalization of marijuana, which luckily has started to roll back, put a lot of people in prison that shouldn't have been in prison. And then when they get in there, they kind of, like I said, get institutionalized. So when they come out, they want to just go back in. So it's a shitty little circle of life they have going on there.
Just add on, there's a lot of people that just get butt fucked in prison. No, but literally get butt fucked to go to prison. Like they get fucked for something that's so minimal, and they're spending decades in these prison cells.
Yeah, there's no consistency, Pat. Exactly what you're saying. There's no consistency. We had a friend that went to prison alongside a female that went to prison at the exact same time for the exact same crime. She went for 8 months and he went for 3 fucking years. And she's out, and you see her at the bar all the time and shit. And that's none of my business. I'm just saying there's no consistency there. The exact same crime, doesn't matter sex or gender or race or anything. Shouldn't you get the same sentence? Why do we got judges handing down drastically different punishments?
Yeah, and go back to Mark. Does the UK, do they put people in prison for decades at a time for drug offenses?
I think it's 7 years, depending on. It depends what drug you're on. Is cannabis, you allowed so much for personal use. Obviously, they don't mean like 10 tons, like lying in the back of the corner somewhere. 51 plants. Yeah, it's personal use, man. Yeah. But basically, there is drug crimes, obviously, but it's mostly the gang related. Most of the time, it's mostly, well, that's what I perceive it. There's a lot of county lines where they get the youngsters to do all the hard work, carrying all the drugs while they get all the money, because they know if the youngsters get done, if you're under, I think it's 18 here, I'm not too sure, you're going to get away with it until you're about 16, unless you commit murder, obviously, then you're going to go to prison. But most of the time they go, now, boy, you've been a naughty boy. I'll just smack your wrist and don't do it again. You promise, don't you? Yes.
So, Jay Morris, what do you think about all this?
Like in America, the prison industrial complex has gotten the over hand. I come from the background of less laws is better than more laws, because even like people I work with, they go through a pre-release center, all women, and I've known one girl who's literally gone through jail pre-release every year for the past 6 years, and it's just a cycle. Just once they get her on the streets, they're going to catch her breaking parole, so they're going to send her back in, and at this point, it's not a bad life for her. No matter where she goes, she's never actually in prison. She does drugs, which, I mean, it's a good time for a month or so. Then she gets her 3 meals and just rinse, wash, repeat, and that's all she does. So that's going to be her life till 55.
Some people don't mind that too. I mean, some people want that. You're right. Like, they don't mind being in prison. That's their fucking life. That is their world right there outside of town. That's their entire world. They don't got to pay for shit. And they don't got to make decisions for themselves. They don't got to worry about it. Exactly what you're saying, man.
It's like in our current system, there's no like rehabilitation, no personal growth. It's all just, okay, we send them away for 2 years. They go out, then we send them back in. It's a very weird.
And it's tough. It's tough because, they're getting better about offering like classes and rehabilitation and trying to give you like life skills or, get some sort of vocational job. But you can't help people that don't want to be helped, to Kelly's point. Yeah. And it's just, if you get out and all I got to do is break in, steal a candy bar or some shit because I'm on parole and I get to go back and have my 3 meals a day and don't have to worry about bills and shit. You can't help people that don't want to be helped.
Yeah. No bills, no taxes, health insurance is there.
What about what they're paying? I guess to Mark Antony, what do they pay their guards and stuff out in Britain? Because here in Montana, it's ridiculous. I think it starts at like $14 an hour. And I mean, we have a restaurant, and some of our employees in a pizza restaurant make more money per hour than people that are like protecting all of society from murderers.
I
and
think
rapists,
I think they're on about. I would think about £10 to £15 an hour, depending on their work. I'm not too privy to how much they earn. Obviously, I don't
what is a
meet many
pound
prison guards.
for $1? What is it? What's 10 pounds in dollars?
Let me look this up. Actually,
It's basically more. We got £1 is stronger than the dollar at the moment. Don't know why.
Oh, well, fuck us, huh?
Yeah. You know, that's what you get for nicking out and getting this tea party, kicking us out. I keep telling you, if you didn't have this tea party, you would have been under a rule. You'd have been better off. You'd have had to salute. You'd have had to stand up for the Queen at least 10 minutes at the end of the cinema. That's what we had to do. We used to, every time the cinema, when we went to a film club, they used to play God Save the Queen. We used to leg it out. Then one day, the cinema manager had enough of this, so he locked all the doors. So basically, we couldn't go out. He said, "You will stand there to say God save the Queen if I have to lock you in for eternity." We all stood there, but we never went back afterwards because, like, we thought, you know, you're going to be a bit of a twat, you know.
I think it's kind of funny now that the Tea Party, you know, you keep talking and we threw it all into the water there. Most Americans, myself included, fucking hate tea and think it's gross all these years later. You think like, gosh, you guys don't even like this drink, and here you are making a big deal about it.
Hey, Mahoney, don't be a twat.
I can't stand coffee because, like, they make coffee sometimes. You put your spoon in, it's still standing, you know. Where's the spoon? It's so strong. And like you put it in a cup, like the man's got now. I think he's got some sort of slushy or whatever it is.
It's in
drinking
in an adult beverage, yes.
Is it an alcoholically based slushy? Yes. Is it like vodka and
margarita? Yeah, tequila.
Yeah, margarita. Yeah.
Hey,
I thought you all drank that moonshine. I used to drink that as hazard, and I believed for years that's all Americans ever drunk was moonshine.
Wrong part of the country. That's that other side of the country.
That's the South.
That's the South.
We're in the North.
They have fake moonshine
not
up
the
here.
Great Divide again. Thought this has ended centuries ago. You're still going on about the North and the South. Oh
hey,
my God.
The South also fucking hates tea.
Yeah, but they've never tea microwave. How sad is that?
Oh, that's funny.
Hey,
it's actually kind of brilliant by you guys, though, to just have a break built in the day for just like a drink and some cookies and
it's
shit.
Not during the day, it's in the whole day. At work, you've got to have a 10-minute tea break. And then after you've had your 10-minute tea break, you probably have another tea break to make sure you had the tea break in the first of the tea break for the tea break. Now, that's why we lost so many battles. That's why I think we lost the empire. We're too busy drinking our tea while everybody's going, look, get rid of them. Like, you know, I've had enough of these British people. Get rid of them now. We're going, oh, yes, thank you.
Hey, is it just me, or does this guy remind anybody else of Gillette?
Yeah, like a British version, kind of. Yeah.
Hey, I got a serious question for Mark here. How would you like to go on this year's Junior Buzzards?
Well, you know, if I knew it was, I'd tell you, no. Like, is it just about birds flying around? Someone going, look, there's a buzzard. You gotta go and identify every buzzard. That's George. That's Harry. That's Cedric, isn't it? No, that's George. That's Cedric. No, that's Patrick. No, they weren't Patrick.
That's what we should do that this year, Mahoney. Just get drunk and do that.
Yes. Try and name all the birds.
There's Patrick. There's Waffle.
I'd go on that, Junior Buzzards.
Nerd.
Yeah.
So,
J Marsh is very passionate about bird watching.
So Junior Buzzards is this annual float trip we do in Western Montana. We float down a river and we drink beer basically nonstop for 3 straight days.
I thought it was just every day out for Americans. But you see, everyone's got the impression of Hollywood body, and the girls are like, their tits are like hard, or they're always shaven down below. Well, I don't know that personally. I mean, I'm only going by the videos that you can watch online. I always wonder how they're so massive online with their willies, as we would call them over here. It was not so massive. I think to myself, how did they get that big? Is it some sort of a cream they use, or some sort of lotion, or did they get some sheet and go?
Are we still talking about birds?
We could get those birds over here. So
The biggest reason the willies are so big over here is no tea and freedom.
Except if you do drugs, then you're life in prison.
And you have a small wiener.
What I wanted to circle back to here was
circle the dog sleds back.
as we circle Ted Rule Field here on the dirt track. I want to go back to that 3-strike policy you're talking about. Because that's a huge arbitrator of why our prisons are so full. These mandatory 3-strike laws. You have this amount of drugs on you. These mandatory laws are what really fills up our prisons so much. And they're all state laws. And I watched this documentary on White Boy Rick. It's on Netflix. It's a really good documentary. States do these because they think, well, if we make it so extreme that if you're caught with this amount of drugs or whatever, then these criminals or whatever, they're going to stop instantly. And statistics show, everything shows that the laws on that criminal activity have no impact whatsoever on lowering the criminal activity. Like you could say, if you smoke two blunts of weed in a day, you're going to be set to the death penalty, and that would have no impact on like anybody's behavior in America. They don't care. So that's kind of why our prisons fill up these mandatory sentences that have no impact on criminal activity. Have been set by states, not federally, but by states worldwide. Statewide.
Our government still hasn't learned that prohibition, illegal alcohol sales skyrocketed. When you make something illegal, the market for it skyrockets. And amazingly, our government still has not figured that out, because like when you legalize weed, everyone just buys weed legally. But if you keep it illegal, you can still sell weed for outrageous prices.
And that's what's insane about it, is like in America, since doing the prohibition, selling alcohol legally was so freaking popular. In America today, they have speakeasies, or secret bars or whatever, where tend to be during the prohibition or whatever, and people just flourish those places because of the idea that you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah, no, it's wild that 100 years later, and we still can't figure out as a society that make something illegal, you just increase the market for it, makes it more profitable to deal in that industry.
So what do you think about that, Mahomes?
Yeah, it's not wrong. I mean, it's kind of like when you're a little kid, right? And they tell you, hey, like, don't do this, or don't play with this toy, or, just the classic, hey, don't push this red button. You're going to want to push that fucking red button. So it's pretty similar. I mean, it's just like, you could argue, the drinking age in stateside being 21 instead of 18. And that's why you have so many kids blacking out at frat parties when they're 18 to 20 years old, because it's like, hey, this is still kind of illegal. There's a little spice to this. So yeah, I think it's a little silly. And I know if they did 2 blunts a day, J-Mar should just say, fuck it and smoke 20, right? Stick it to the man.
Well, the fact I know how Pat doesn't smoke weed, he said like 2 blunts of weed is the weirdest way I've ever heard that been phrased in my life.
Well, I'm sorry, we don't know your cool druggy lingo, J-Mar.
Yeah, I forget you guys are so old.
We are very old.
You're all youngsters to me. I mean, like, we're just little pups. I mean, as I say, I'm nearly 60, so I'm probably a bit older than most of you. Probably by a little bit, or probably a lot. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, Antony, sorry, are you Catholic or with the cross in the background? I've been wondering that the whole show. I figured I'd ask.
Well, yeah. Well, basically, that's just I just put it up there because, like, it filled the wall.
Oh.
What are you talking about now?
There's a dog asleep over there. If you want to talk to the dog, or I've got some angels. If you want to talk to the angels, yeah.
Pat, you left for 2 seconds. Now we brought up Catholicism.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I
We were
knew
trying
what
to
I
have-
can't even say the word or spell the word. But basically, over here we created our own religion called Protestants. King Henry VIII got fed up with Catholic religion because he couldn't marry his wives if he didn't kill them. So he thought, hey, I know what I'll do. I'll start off a new religion. And that's what caused most of the troubles in Northern Ireland are basically to do with that. Although it's a bit more extended than that, but it's that is the cause of the troubles that we've had over Northern Ireland. They've been arguing about Catholic and Protestant for so long, they've even forgot what the argument's about.
Well, and not to go down a huge rabbit hole here, but I find Henry VIII fascinating as fuck. I don't know about the rest of these guys, but I find Henry VIII fascinating as shit. And so what you probably know 1,000 times more than us Americans would. When was he around? And what's kind of some of the behind the scenes juicy details that aren't advertised? Because on the surface he looks like a complete and utter piece of shit, so he's got to be much more worse if you knew him in person.
Well, basically he was quite fit as a young man. He did lots of jousting and that, and then he decided to get married. Actually, he turned up on time for getting married. That's one thing he was very good at, turning up on time for getting married. I heard somebody
what does that mean?
I think somebody in your podcast is getting married soon, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the curly-headed fuck in the corner.
I think it's Jay Marsh.
I said curly-headed fuck.
You got a couple curls in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2 Mahoney's now.
I'm gonna mute.
Wait, there's 2. I'm just not drunk. Okay,
I
good.
see 2 Mahoney's.
He has to go pick up his daughter.
Yeah, he did say he had to go and pick up. I think he based thought, I've had enough of this break. I'm going. I've just had enough. I'm gonna walk out. We walk out that door. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's on the show. Enough of him.
I gotta
gone.
Are you about to be driving in on podcast, or are you just walking?
You talking Mahoney or?
Yeah. Is he muted still?
I will. Oh, poop on my face.
It's got the double echo thing. So yes, both those things on right now. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's.
It's not a double echo. It's just him talking basically in the microphone.
Oh, I like the preview of the house he just gave us. It was like, since you're up, might as well give us a tour.
So I really am interested though in Henry VIII. What can you tell us some story that like you guys know over there that other people might not know, in the history books, because he's fascinating to me.
He likes wrestling. He wrestled the King of France in a tournament, and he lost. But basically, he didn't lose because he said he didn't lose because he let the King of France win because he didn't want to upset him. So I wonder if that was a Royal Rumble. I wonder if that would have been in WrestleMania. That would have been good in WrestleMania, wouldn't it? And on the left, we have the King of England. And what are you going to say, King? I'm going to get that French frog. I'm going to eat him up. I'm going to make sure I slam him to the floor. He'll be nothing left of him. I'll tear him rip to rip. What do you think, whatever Prince King was? Philip something. What do you think? I don't know. I can't speak French. That's my French.
Yeah, I gotta. Oh, sorry.
I know King Henry VIII because it was a long time since I was at school. It's so long. There was a thing called books, and there's no thing called internet back then. You didn't have internet back then.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It didn't start until 19. Well, they had the theory of internet, but I don't think it started until the late 80s, did it? The proper internet. We had dial-in. We had internet where you had to. It was so slow. It was like, "Hello, how are you today? Yes, I'm okay." That's how slow it was.
Yeah. You know what I used to do when the internet first really came out, to dial up, you had AOL. Remember AOL? you've got mail. I would go on there, and we were in junior high, me and my friends, and we would go on there just to find girls that would send pictures of themselves naked to us.
That must have been a long time before you got to the parts, wasn't it? The head would come first. Then the neck, then a little bit of tit, then a bit more tit, then the body, and then you're thinking, oh, it's going to get this second bit. Then the line goes, sorry, there is no signal.
Sounds like you've had some very, very frustrating masturbation sessions in the dial-up era.
It must have been, oh God, I got excited. Now I got a fish. Oh my God, nothing.
Trying to think what the word was for it. So if you had digital sex in a chat room or whatever, there was like you just got cybered or something like that. I'm looking up right now.
Cyber sex.
Cyber sex. There we go. Yes, I had a lot of cyber sex back
It
in the day.
it must be because now they've got robots you can go to. You know, like a blown up doll. They've extended it now. You can go to a robot and have simulated sex with a robot.
Oh,
That must
yeah,
be very interesting. You go to the robot going, hi there. Aren't you sexy tonight? Yes, I am sexy. Ha, 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 ha. You want me? Ha, ha, ha. And you go, yes, darling, let's go to bed. I wonder if the robot smokes a cigarette afterwards.
Hey, Pat, we should probably circle those wagons before Mark's boner flies to the screen.
Do you guys
No,
ever,
it's not that big.
you guys see that? There's someone sent it to me. I think it was in Japan or somewhere in Asia, and they had these sperm donor clinics. People don't want to whack off in the room or whatever, and then shoot it into a cup or whatnot. So they had these machines that simulate a vagina, and just stick your fucking cock into this thing, and
It's a Japanese thing. What do you expect? Japanese weird. It's weird. If you watch Japanese television, it is so weird, man.
I was like,
They got programs where they get somebody and they go, oh, eat this, and then they electrocute the fucker. What he's eating, yeah. Have you ever watched Japanese game shows?
I've seen. Yes, well, there was an American TV show that made fun of Japanese game shows. So technically, yes, I did. It was American making fun of the Japanese shows.
Oh, was it like a
Which is
late
quite
night
a
TV
bit
show?
ironic because if you watch some American game shows that we inherit over here, like The Voice and that thing where they dress up and as animals, pretend they can sing, and you got to guess who's under there, but everybody knows secretly who it is because like they got code names, really stupid code names like it's the old beaver, and it'd be, yes, I think I know who that might be. And then we had gladiators over here, which was like not like air converted because it had to be British version. Right? Yeah.
The Masked
And
Singer
we-
that you're talking
we-
about.
Yeah, the Masked Singer. That's what he's
We are
talking about.
giving all sorts of free press to the Masked Singer on this podcast.
I don't even know what the mask was. I thought it was just float, just sitting there and singing.
Mahomes, I thought he was
They got-
talking about
I
furry.
thought David Soul made a career back. He used to wear a mask before in his singing career. Who's David Soul? It's from the program Starsky and Hutch. What's Starsky and Hutch? Old American TV show. Anybody's listening?
So, who was the old beaver that you were talking about?
It was Betty White.
I don't know. I just made it up.
So, what do you think about Jamar sticking your fucking wiener into a machine that takes the sperm out?
You know, Patrick, whatever makes you happy after your divorce, I'm all for this. Just whatever gets you happy in life.
It's
Hey,
like,
go ahead, Pat.
I say to Mark, it's like, you know what they say when someone dies, another person is born or whatever. And me and Kelly are brothers, so it's like when one person gets divorced, someone gets married.
There could only be 2 of your 4 brothers can get married at once.
Well,
Wouldn't it be funny if all of them got married at once and like they all fed the same woman, but he didn't tell them? They all turned up at the same.
like
all turned up the same
reverse
way.
polygamy.
Yeah, he all turned up the same wedding. She went, "No, sorry, I don't really marry you." But
Hey, Pat, I
thought she
know
would be.
we're probably wrapping this up soon. I just figured I'd get the first one out there before you. But I definitely want to talk about the reason that we have you on as the special guest host is last week we were talking and Pat said he had this guy from Britain that did a reading of our movie Mad Dad. And we were like, well, fucking play it. You know, we want to listen to this shit. So he played your reading, which was hilarious, by the way. So anyways, I just thought it'd be fun to talk about that for a second. It's like the Mad Dad script. I don't know if you read the whole thing or just that scene, but
I just read that
laughed our
scene.
asses off.
I thought Patrick said a British kind of version of it, and of course, obviously, I didn't understand the whole bit of American.
Mhm.
But when I was sort of, I thought, well, I'd say it as like I'm playing both parts. I thought, I hope it comes across that I'm trying to be funny, because the British people aren't funny to get around or stop on us every day going, hello, oh, hello, 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 good evening, sir, hello.
So yeah, me and Kelly always envisioned the lead character of Mad Dad as being not maybe someone that's British, but someone just a completely different character than how Kelly. We always want to see how it sounded if someone else played that character. So it was pretty funny to listen to that.
Oh, yeah, we laughed our asses off at your reading.
Because it's a
Good.
comedy, by the way.
Somebody laughed. Yeah, if it been serious, I thought, oh, I was trying to act for good, like, you really insulted my acting skills. That's it, I had enough, I'm going home. But then I thought, I am home, so I can't really go home. All I can do is storm out and go, I had enough.
Oh, that's funny. No, it was fun. Did you send the whole script, Pat, or just that scene?
I sent the whole script, but I said just that scene, to just do that scene, so it was a funny scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, if you ever want to read the scene, like, you know, do my part, do your parts, and I we could just do that, like, and you could still call it Mad Dad English version.
Well, you know, what's interesting is that scene that you read, and Pat probably planned this, I'm sure, or else it's coincidence. That scene was between me and Mahoney on here, you know, the two guys on the podcast. I was Glenn, whose name in the actual movie was George, and then Mark was, what was the name? Jack, right?
Marcus Jack.
Gotta hit the greens now, Jack, yeah.
But yeah. So Kelly was Mad Dad, Glenn, and Mark was Jack in that scene. So I think, and that's kind of why I had you read that specific scene, because I thought that they're both involved in that. So yeah, so we played it on our last podcast. It was a great listen. It was a lot of fun to listen to that.
Well, and we should always preface all this shit, which we don't do very well sometimes. But Mad Dad, you know, we said it last week, but anybody listening, is a movie that we shot back in the early 2000s, and Mahoney and I were in it, and Pat was the director. And anyways, Mark Antony, our guest tonight, read that last week, and it was fucking hilarious. So that's why we're talking about that this week.
Yeah, for our diehard fans, don't listen.
And that is the end of this political podcast on behalf of the Cutler Productions for films. If you wish to watch them, they're available on YouTube. Beep, beep, beep.
Oh my God, they're talking about us in Britain.
Actually, I shared one of your films on my blog.
Yes.
The program, and I've been on your international movie base, and I give every film that you've done a 10-star recommendation.
Oh, thank you. I thought that count was dead. I guess it's not.
Even Enigma. Let's get into Enigma a little bit, huh, Mahoney?
I was going to say, I'm surprised we haven't talked Enigma with a guy who likes horror movies.
I like horror movies, yes.
In
fact, before I go, I'm going to do a unique sign off for you.
Yeah. I wanted to, since Mahoney, I want to do a story from the Montana State Prison. This is a story that is pretty fucking funny, and I wanted to hear your take on it. What what you might think was the actual true story. So the Montana State Prison, man, it was years, maybe 15 years ago, 16 years ago, something like that. Not sure what, but it was like Super Bowl Sunday, and the prisoners decided to make a big pot of chili for the guards, and they agreed, you're gonna make a big pot of chili. Oh gosh. So the story goes, the prisoners ended up putting their butts in the chili and shitting in the chili before serving to the guards. And the whole thing was nobody ate the chili. It was foiled before it ever happened. But Mahomes, what was the true backing of that story?
So the true backing is so the only thing you're missing is it wasn't just for the guards. The chili was supposed to be for everybody. And so the chef that was in there was pissed off about something. Maybe I don't know exactly what led him to shit in the chili, but yeah, he take a big old dumper right in that chili, and it was supposed to be for everybody. And I can't say for certain that not everyone ate it, but it was like pretty obvious that there was like a huge turd inside the chili.
Hey, is the reason you don't have your video going, Mahoney, because you're taking a big old dumper right now?
I actually am driving right now. I just got home, so I'll be back on video soon. And if I ever take a dump on this podcast, I will make certain to bring my camera in with me.
It'd be a bit of a plop.
Yeah. So, Mark, would you eat chili that was shit in by prisoners?
No, unless there's some brown sauce involved, or some tomato sauce, or a little bit of gravy, perhaps it might be edible, I suppose.
And Mahomes, what was that day they did? Was that Super Bowl Sunday, or what was the holiday or whatever that happened?
Yeah, it was the Super Bowl. That was the whole.
Okay.
It was supposed to be like
Why do they call it Super Bowl? I forgot the meaning of that. I mean, what I understand about American football is guys go on the pitch, they stop for 5 minutes, then another load of guys come on the pitch, then they stop for 5 minutes, then another load of guys come on the pitch for 5 minutes, then they cross this line, then they go, woohoo, yeah, scored, or whatever it is. Then they kick it over this fence thing, and then they go, yeah, point, and then they have another break. And then during the break, they talk about the bits that were in the break. And then they have some you never heard of, doing some songs you never heard of.
Hey, and
then they go, it's a world championship. And I thought, well, how can it be world championship? There's only Americans in it.
Americans.
Just elitist world champions. That's what I call it.
And the way you just explained that still sounds more fun than soccer.
Soccer? What's soccer? I never heard of soccer.
Football.
It's called football, mate. It's football.
Okay.
Basically, it's like.
Hey, we're ignorant, man.
That's our number one quality as Americans.
Yeah.
Bliss, ignorance.
I don't know why you call it soccer, because you get too confused. You go American football. I think that's why you call it soccer, because you thought if you call it soccer, then we don't get confused between the two. I don't know how, because one you kick a ball, and you two kicking the ball, and you score in the net. The other one you pick up the ball, which is called rugby over here. But yeah.
I think it's called the world. It's called the World Championship, for American football, because who the fuck's going to challenge us? Who's going to challenge the American football team, though?
No.
Really, there's no Philippines American football team. I wish there was.
There might be now. There might be now.
Yeah,
They'll be listening, going, "Hey, that Prison City podcast, they put out a challenge to us. I'm going to get a team together. You fancy going for American football? Yeah,
I would love
what part
that.
You can play. I don't know.
I'm
going to just run it. You just get the biggest guys possible. You do. How big are you? 400 pounds? No, too much. 500. Yeah, you're in.
Now we just need someone.
You're 9 foot tall.
25 stones to come and play.
Oh, I'm going to cut you out, guys.
I like that one.
One more thing.
I just
Can you imagine
a stone.
No.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a Philippine football team? Just a whole bunch of little Manny Pacquiaos out there. Just like.
Let's not pull the race card, Jay Marsh.
Not cool, dude. Not in front of this guy.
Yeah, you know what, Mahoney, though? I love the World Cup because it's basically every team in the world competing except for the U.S.
Well,
No, you've been in it. You've been in it. You've been in the. You was in
Women
the.
are good.
I think
Yeah.
You won.
Oh,
The
wait a minute.
women
can't stop.
I'm talking about.
they're
I'm talking
the
about.
best team in the world.
So I'm talking about
Wait-
the real.
wait a
I'm
minute.
talking about the real World Cup, the $6 billion World Cup, not the $6 World Cup.
Women's sport is getting as popular.
I shit in the chili at the prison.
And
Okay, what are we doing here?
while we're on the subject of like being elitist, I'm going to say something that is maybe the most cocky American thing I've ever said to anyone who's not from America. So, I think the women show you that if we had our best athletes play soccer, we would dominate the rest of the world. Our best male athletes don't play soccer. So they're like think of it as like our ninth graders compared to like real superstars.
What's a ninth grader? Is it somebody who don't I don't understand grades in America. Like,
It's a 15-year-old.
Yes,
yeah, all right, okay,
primary school.
right. Yeah. I was going to say, when you going about American things, I'm going, yeah.
What's a ninth grader?
I don't know. I'm a big. We don't know nothing over here. We're so far up our own
no.
arse, we don't even see the time of day.
I would love to see in the Olympics. I would fucking love to see American football as one of the events, but it's just no one who would hold a candle. Fucking Canada.
Oh yeah, but we couldn't. That we're very good at over in it. We were the world champions forever. It's called queuing. We queue for everything over here. We're so polite. Everybody will stand next to each other. They'll queue outside the shop. Hello, how are you? Yes. Waiting to go in? Yeah, it won't be long. American would go, yeah, I ain't waiting. They just push in and go. Yeah.
So that's to our American listeners, that's called standing in line over here. Is
Hey, I want to see.
I've got standing in line. So it doesn't sound good as queuing, does it?
No, you guys got one word for it. You can even hear the way I say it. Like you said, you guys are polite about it. You can hear the hate in my voice when I say standing in line. Waste my time.
Is it pronounced queuing though? I thought it was pronounced queefing.
Queuing. No, queuing, my friend. Queuing. That's a different.
Honest mistake.
That's a different sport. I wouldn't do that in a line.
It's
No.
a different sport.
Hey, but out of all sports that need to be in Olympics, the number one sport we need to have in Olympics, I don't think anybody's going to disagree with this sport, is we need to have the shitting and the chili competition.
Yeah, but you Americans win that. I mean,
Well, yeah, we love to do sports that we win. You know, that's like kind of our thing.
if it was a sport called, I don't know. I think I watched baseball once. I tried to watch baseball once. I don't understand the rules. I don't think even anybody who watches baseball understands the rules.
Nope.
But then if I tried to explain cricket to you, you're probably going, yeah, there's a bloke at steady point. Why is he at steady point? Well, at cricket, you just stand around, you watch the game, you go to the beer tent, you come back again, they might have scored a run, then you go sleep, they might have scored another run. We even have matches that last over 5 days in cricket. Could you imagine that in America? A 5-day sport? You'd go nuts, wouldn't you? You would watch, I think you'd turn off by about 24 the first day. Talking cricket, mate. Cricket, ball.
Yeah.
We had to play it in high school. It's very boring. Yes.
It was fun. I just didn't understand it at all.
I know. There's all sorts of wickets and all that sort of stuff.
And you have to wear whites. It's compulsory to wear white.
I felt like
It's
I was
any
like,
sport. It's any sport in the country you're allowed to wear white and not be racist.
yeah. Well, I heard people were wearing white when they shit in that chili.
Let's bring back the.
If it's white and
horses
brown by
and
then, isn't it? Perhaps they've created them tie-dye trousers.
Yeah.
That's the thing about American, football and American sports is as soon as we aren't world dominant, we just invent a new sport, and then we are world dominant again.
Didn't the Japanese beat you once at baseball?
Yeah, and then we stopped playing it.
Yeah.
No, he's
That's
talking.
why we're
He's talking. He's talking about the World Baseball Classic, the sport that he doesn't understand. I'm just kidding.
Oh, and
Yes,
see,
I don't
not
understand
to-
it, but I
not to
do
make-
know. I do know one fact that the Japanese did beat you. I do know that. I know it's a fact. It's out there in the universe.
Yes.
You can Google.
Hey,
So if you can Google it, it's real.
hey,
Just admit it. We've been beaten by the Germans at football. We beat the Germans at football. It's still a rivalry. We was at war with Argentina, and then we had a fight in the football match. They beat us once. We beat them once. So it's like a war, really.
no, I think it's great to bring that up. It's the first loss we had to Japan since Pearl Harbor.
I'm glad someone
but then-
Pearl Harbor joke.
Pearl Harbor, yeah. I
not to make
watched the film. It was a really good
Oh.
film. Like all they did was they had boats sitting in the water, and they were thinking, why would they park nearly the whole fleet in one place? That was a really good idea. I wonder what the Japanese would do if they saw the fleet in one place.
Well, if you want
Let's
to
think about it.
conspiracy theories, let's go. You got 3 more hours.
well,
No.
in fairness to us,
Not
we weren't
not
exactly planning on getting bombed
two
by
in
the
the morning.
Japanese, sir.
Not near my invisible watch I got. If it's a 1:45 in the morning, I'm going to talk too many conspiracy theories. Unless you want to talk Bigfoot. We got Bigfoot over here.
He's everywhere, but no one's ever seen him.
No?
We got big cats.
We got huge cats out here. Pat, you and Albert and them hiking up Mount Powell once. Didn't you guys see a huge
Mountain
mountain
lion.
lion?
Yeah, we went down because we saw it, but I mean, in all honesty, the odds of a mountain lion actually attacking a human being are so fucking low that I wish we would have grabbed our balls and kept going up that mountain.
I mean, you were
Did you watch
Albert. You
Tiger
could outran
King?
him, right?
What?
Did any of you lot watch Tiger King? It's massive
course.
over here.
Of course.
It is like a huge show. And then that exotic wanted a pardon for old Trumpy boy. And old Trumpy went, nah, I ain't giving him a pardon.
Yeah, I
'Cause
did
even-
follow that. Yeah.
They even had the old limousine parked out the prison, like he was going to get released. And then I watched the show, the aftermath of the Tiger King about the woman involved. I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name. It's Carol Baskin. And then she went on a dance show, and she wore a leopard print, and I'm thinking, yeah, okay. And she got kicked out, and basically she's made herself famous by buying Izu back.
Wow.
And it's kind of neat that you guys have something in common. So you killed your wife's ex-husband, and she killed her ex-husband as well.
Well, yeah, but I know where the body is. She doesn't.
Oh, she
Probably
knows.
the lions. The lions are probably shit it out by him.
Yeah.
The tigers will probably shit it out.
He fed them to those tigers. I mean, we all know that.
But it could be just a conspiracy theory. I have to mention this. It's legal reasons. I have to now state that I'm not on the show talking about this. This is just an image used by the Prison City podcast people to promote. They want to talk about Tiger King.
No, I like though Americans are so dominant that the greatest American film series in history was by British actors, Harry Potter.
Yeah, I can't stand Harry Potter. I've never watched one. I've never watched any of them.
They're terrible. I've watched one. I just about killed myself afterwards.
Hey,
Oh,
Mark,
They don't talk like that. Everybody thinks in America that they've got either the "Hello, how are you?" or the Dick Van Dyke really bad impression of the Cockney. All right, Dove, how's it going? How's your apples and stairs and all that crap? Nobody ever
So-
talks like that.
So, Mark, what? It sounds like you're a big fan. So, what house did you think you would be sorted into? You sound a lot like a Griffin to me.
Well, I think I'll be outside the door. Yeah, that hat that's flying around. Yeah, I really want to talk to a flying hat. That makes sense to me. I must have been taking too much. Yeah, what's this about brooms? You've got a broom and you're going to sit on it and lie on it?
Oh
Yeah.
god. Oh god.
hey, Mark, what did you think about the series The Office? The good one, not the British one.
Well, we gave it to you because we thought the Americans had to make a good job of it. But, yeah. That's Steve Carell. What's his name? Steve Carell. Yeah,
Steve Carell.
he's quite good
yeah.
actor. Yeah, he's
I like
quite
Steve
good.
Carell better.
But the trouble is, it's written by a British guy and it's a British script, so it's one up to us. So there. No.
Was that Gervais that wrote that one?
Yeah, it's how he got
Ricky
famous,
Gervais,
isn't it?
Oh fuck yeah, he's funny as shit. No joking.
Oh,
He
yeah.
called out Hollywood single-handedly, and we all fucking loved it.
It was
Yeah. The way
hilarious.
it's we like in Britain call it taking the piss.
Yeah, it was so funny, so funny.
He was the
It's one thing we're really good at.
the zombie movie, right? Ricky Gervais.
No,
somebody else.
wrong film, wrong person.
Zombieland or which one?
Oh,
He knows what I'm talking about.
Shaun of the Dead was written by somebody else.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
It's a really
So-
good, funny film. I like Shaun of the Dead because basically,
Yeah,
when you watch the film carefully, you see people in the supermarket. They all look like they're zombified anyway. And then you got people on the phone. They walk along as they're zombified. So when they're actually zombies, nobody actually notices they're zombies until they start to eat you.
oh yeah. Another great Christian Bale. He's British, right?
I don't know. Is he?
I thought he
I
was.
thought he's Canadian.
I thought he was Australian.
Oh, maybe he's Australian. Australian British.
But
they all
that's
say the
nothing to
same.
do with Britain. Like I know we owned it once. I know we sent all the prisoners over there because we had another one. We thought, where can we send them? We send them to Australia. Oh, we sent them to America as well. Yeah, we sent a few people over there as well.
Hey, Mark, I just for fun, I don't know if how much of an actor you are or whatever, but can you do an American accent for us?
I'll try. Well, how bad do you want it?
really bad.
I will suck your dick if you do this.
Yeah, but it's going to be a long swim before you'll be exhausted.
Oh,
And then he'll be going, and then nothing will be happening. But,
Jeez.
right, I'll try. Here goes. Are you ready, young gentlemen?
Yes.
Gentlemen.
Let's hear it.
Hi there, Patrick. How's it going? What's he doing down the sidewalk? Watching some baseball. That's about as much as American as I know.
I like it. Also, it immediately goes southern.
yeah.
Yeah, straight Texas,
Yeah.
instantly. Hey there,
Howdy.
You're like a special needs kid from Texas.
I honestly, I closed my eyes and thought I was having a conversation with one of my pals. You know,
Hi there, Patrick.
That was good.
Oh, it's hilarious.
All right, who wants to do a British accent? Come on, anybody? Not me.
Come on then.
Terrible.
Come on then. Bring it on.
Well, my name is Mark Antony. I'm on the Prison City podcast. All we're talking about is abortion and fetal alcohol syndrome.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but it was.
Here we go.
Was that Canadian? Was it that Canadian? I thought you sounded more Canadian.
I always go Russell Brand. I don't know what he is exactly, but
He's comedian,
yeah, I mean, but
actor,
he's
knob.
the easiest one to
part of that.
impersonate.
he is. He's literally the easiest one to impersonate after you've sucked Willie from swimming over the ocean.
Swimming. It'd be cool to see, mate, but well, I'll give you that.
Was that closer?
It's close-ish. About as close as I am to you by Zoom. That's what I'll give you.
So I like to say, how long do you think any of us could fake a British accent in like London without someone noticing?
I would give you 1 minute.
That's more than I thought any of us could get.
But you got to remember, most accents in London, you probably don't hear a London accent because it's full of foreigners.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere you go, it's American tourists taking a picture, pushing in the queue, spending all their money, giving us all their money. We're very grateful for that. You know, we overcharge you completely because that's what we like to do. You know, we see the Americans come and go, ha ha, money.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, to wrap things up here, Jay Morris, what do you have to say about this podcast so far tonight?
Entertaining.
I'm just going to disappear for a second. I've got another for the end bit, so I haven't gone. I've just got to get something. All right.
All right.
Gonna go play with his willy.
All right. As he's leaving, Jesus.
I'm surprised.
Jesus
surprised
Christ.
no one's made a dental joke yet. I like.
Hey guys, not that he's going, but Jesus Christ, this guy's fucking weird.
I'll say it again. He's the British version of Gillette to a T, and that's in my opinion. But
Some background, yeah, some background.
Books though.
Hey, some background on Kyle Gillette. Some background on Kyle Gillette. Mahomes, go with that.
Name drop.
So he's someone that we acted with for a long time previously. He's kind of one of the original guys. Great actor, honestly, pretty talented actor. He has talked about writing a book for a long time. Mark Antony has actually written books, sounds like plural. And they just have a lot of the same mannerisms, kind of the same humor. They both love talking about willies, so that seems to be.
But the true side of Mr. Gillette, quitting plays, boycotting everything that doesn't agree with his politics. A lot of people said that he led. No, I won't go there.
Please go there, because I don't know what you're about to say.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll just. Hey, the rest of this podcast, guys, I just want to dedicate for one reason, for Lyle. Oh God!
Hey, Mark Antony's camera turns into a colonoscopy exam.
Jesus.
Excuse me.
Now he's really getting American on us.
Jeez, I didn't know we had John Wayne Gacy on the show this week.
Special guest, John Wayne. Gacy.
Gacy, that is.
Yeah.
So we should probably sign off here soon.
All right, for the audio audience there,
The audio audience.
Mark Antony has returned to the podcast in what appears to be a clown mask from, I don't know what horror film. It looks like the video game Twisted Metal on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it does.
And he is rotating his camera up and down and back and forth. And
Hey, for our audio audience only out there, Mark Antony is wearing a clown mask right now while jerking off completely butt naked.
And actually, that's not true. He does have on nipple clamps as well.
Can I go ahead and say this has been our weirdest podcast so far?
I mean, yeah, you can, and I've loved every second of it. I'm so here for it.
all right, so our next guest, and I'm not even joking, I got a guy I'm talking with right now. He's an MMA fighter from South Carolina. Sounds like a cool guy. You guys want to have him on?
Sure.
I never know if you're actually serious or not, but yeah, sign me up.
His name's Tony Savala.
All right, final words here, just round things out, because I know Ghost Radio Station there is about to go to sleep, just as I am. But great show tonight, and final words will go to Jay Marsh first.
Oh, it's been a fun show. Pretty interesting. Glad I got to meet you. It was fun to have you on and hear what UK thinks of America. We're ignorant and love to spend money. Good for us.
I'll go to Kelly.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's been fun. It's a lot of jokes and stuff like this, but it's interesting to hear perspective from all the way across the fucking ocean. So we appreciate your time, my friend.
Mahoney.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Obviously, everyone who's listening from the Ghostman Radio Station, you never know what you're going to get with us, so go ahead and subscribe. Obviously, listen up. And just remember, anyone who's listening overseas, especially in the UK, we let you have soccer. Like,
All right.
call it football. You can call it whatever you want. We let you have that. If we wanted it, we could take it.
Okay. And because just to prove that all Americans aren't complete assholes, I'm going to honor your request. And for tonight's episode, Mark, I'm going to let you do the official sign off for it. You have the last words, and when you're done doing your sign off, I will delete this episode immediately. Go ahead.
We can't hear you, Mark.
You muted?
He's muted. Oh.
Mark's shitting in the chili right now.
And
he's muted. Mark, are you muted on your end?
He says live on my screen. And that wraps off this week's shows, guy.
Yeah.
Okay. No. No. We can't hear you, Mark. Is there he's muted.
I think this might actually be his sign off.
Yeah.
Like just fucking with us all.
He's not muted. I think maybe his thing's not it's not plugged in or something. Maybe
He's
it
like,
got.
I'll show you how fucking ignorant Americans are. We sit here for
Is that
25
plugged in
minutes.
now?
All right,
There he is.
there we go.
There you go, big boy.
This
There we
is
go.
the official sign off. Pick it up. But why my end be sleepy? Thank you, James. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. I forgot the other guy. Patrick. Yeah, that was his name. I haven't met him because he's the host. Because you asked me on. I don't know why. You must have had a bad day. I reckon you were smoking too much weed at the time. I think you thought, "Hey man, that sounds a good idea. Have this British guy on. He sounds kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know if it's funny. Perhaps he's just taking too many tablets. Or it's gone midnight and he's just too tired. I don't know which one it is. But yes, there's a new sign off is never forget football rules, never soccer. American sports are great when you understand the rules, as famous over here. We're the same country, same language, but we might as well. At the end of the day, we're all friends. We all know the world's what it is at the moment in a bit of a shithole. And basically, if we can't have a laugh, there's nothing wrong. There's something wrong with us. And I've enjoyed it. I hope people like me. I don't know if they do. They might think this episode is one they'll never watch ever again. It may go the annuals of the trash bin you have with the $2.99 specials that you never watch in the supermarkets. You know the ones I mean. They'll probably go down there somewhere going, "Oh yes, I remember that happening with Mark and the Prison City podcast. It was very good." Those American chats were quite good. That British guy was a complete nutter. I don't know. Is he insane or insane? I think I'm okay. I had a certificate once that said I was sane. I wrote it myself. But in the show, I go, Tony Dar, thank you very much for having me in the show. I do appreciate it. I hope you've liked me as a guest. And that's all I got to say.